Imagine being Superman's cousin, but instead of saving Metropolis, you're getting utterly wasted under a red sun just to feel something. Because Kara Zor-El has officially hit rock bottom, powerless, hungover, and about to get dragged into an interstellar revenge quest. And if you think this is just another generic superhero story, you better buckle up because this galactic road trip is about to get terrifying. The story kicks off on a distant planet where a peaceful blacksmith named Elias Knoll is desperately guarding his life's work in his backyard shed. He's built handcrafted weapons forged from steel, but his peaceful life gets completely shattered when ruthless cosmic brigands raid his farm. Elias tries to protect his young daughter Ruthie, telling his family to give them what they want so the raiders will just take the loot and leave. Meanwhile, light years away in a sketchy alien dive bar, Kara Zor-El is completely hammered and giving a chaotic drunken speech. She's turning 23 and bitterly claiming it's gonna be her best year yet, even though her life is low-key a hot mess. Because this planet orbits a red sun, Kara has zero Kryptonian superpowers here, meaning she can finally get drunk and feel raw pain like normal humans. Suddenly, the bar doors swing open and young Ruthie steps in, introducing herself as a proud member of the Dynastia clan. She announces to the entire dive bar that she's here to seek revenge against Krem of the Yellow Hills. Ruthie breaks down as she reveals that Krem brutally murdered her innocent family in cold blood just to steal their handcrafted swords. She knows Krem's ship was wrecked and that he's currently trapped on this planet searching for a passage off to escape. So she puts out an open bounty for a skilled tracker who can help her hunt down this monster before he vanishes into deep space. Kara hears the pitch from her booth, but she immediately slurs to herself that she doesn't have her powers under this red sun. Kara literally hits her with the ultimate, "not my monkeys, not my circus" attitude and goes right back to pounding shot glasses. To sweeten the deal, Ruthie holds up an insanely ornate blade and offers her family's sword to whoever helps her execute Krem. She explains it was handcrafted by her late father, making it a priceless heirloom weapon. A massive, ugly alien mercenary scoffs at her, mocking how a child of her size expects to carry around a heavy blade like that. Ruthie snaps back with pure main character energy, insisting she had her 13th turn this past harvest and is fully capable. The huge alien mercenary claims Krem is too dangerous for a teenager and that she needs someone of enormous power to defeat him. The massive thug decides he's just gonna steal the sword himself and do the job whether she likes it or not. Even though Kara is completely powerless and drunk out of her mind, her hero instincts kick in and she says, "Let me talk to him." Kara stumbles over to the giant thug and scolds him, saying you don't steal from a little kid who just lost her parents. She tells him that bullying a traumatized orphan is way over the line of acceptable behavior. Kara argues that if he wants the custom sword so bad, he should actually help her find the shithead who killed her family. That way he actually earns the legendary weapon fair and square instead of being a common mugger. The massive alien gets super annoyed by Kara's rambling and mutters that she's talking too much. Kara completely ignores his anger and admires the sword, slurring that it's a really beautiful piece of silverware. The brute suddenly wallops Kara straight across the jaw, sending her crashing down, leaving Kara gasping, "Hey, look, I'm bleeding." Even with a bloody lip under the red sun, Kara sarcastically quips that he's an angry fella. She takes another brutal punch to the stomach and wheezes out that she's a little winded. Despite taking a nasty beatdown, Kara uses her combat skills to snatch the sword back and hand it to Ruthie, saying, "Believe this is yours." Bruised, battered, and totally exhausted, Kara limps away, grunting that she just needs to go to bed. Back at her landed starship, Kara receives an incoming hologram call from Clark Kent, who wants to touch base about when she's coming home. Superman gently lectures his younger cousin, worrying that constantly running away off-planet like this is hurting her. Clark tells her that if she keeps isolating herself in deep space, she's never gonna find her stride in Metropolis. Kara cuts him off with a heart-wrenching truth, bluntly telling him, "I have no people." Clark tries to comfort her, saying if she spent a little more time on Earth, she'd feel less alone. He promises she can build a real life and feel more at home if she actually gives humanity a fair shot. Suddenly Ruthie shows up right outside Kara's ship entrance, prompting Kara to roll her eyes and ask, "You're door-to-door now?" Kara tells the persistent teenager that she'd love to help, but she has zero desire to play superhero today. She tells Ruthie to move on to the next door with her revenge pitch because she's not interested. Ruthie begs her, reminding Kara how she bravely stood up for the righteous in the bar last night. Kara laughs it off, saying she's not gonna lead her through the mountains like some fantasy guy. She refuses to turn a grieving young orphan into a ruthless child killer for some sort of revenge plot. Kara hilariously adds that if Ruthie thinks she's joining her mission, she must be, as they say, on glue. Out of nowhere, Krem and his dirty brigand stalk up to the landing pad, debating whether to take Elias' daughter as a slave. Krem scoffs, saying their brigand prison cells are packed solid anyway, so they don't need another hostage. Instead, Krem spots Kara's alien starship and asks his henchman what he thinks of their potential new ride. Krem sneers that they need to steal it and get back up in the sky immediately. Ruthie watches Krem creep towards the ship and coldly whispers that Krem deserves what is coming to him. Kara warns the kid that if she goes through life consumed by vengeance, she'll end up very unhappy. Suddenly, Ruthie screams in horror that the brigands are literally taking Kara's ship off the planet right now. Before Kara can sprint over, Krem fires a crossbow bolt at Crypto, hitting the dog with a deadly Brigandian toxin known as retinir. An alien vet rushes over to examine poor Crypto and reveals that this nasty venom paralyzes the host slowly. The vet delivers a devastating blow, explaining that the poison painfully shuts down internal organs until eventually stopping the heart. Saving Crypto seems almost impossible since Krem escaped off the planet with Kara's stolen ship. The vet warns Kara that moving Crypto is impossible because transport would risk accelerating the toxin's fatal effects. She explains that brigand assassins always carry the antidote on their person while on missions. They brutally use it as an interrogation tactic, withholding relief until victims give up everything. They take sick pleasure in dangling relief in exchange for money, intelligence, or total surrender. Kara desperately asks how long her beloved pup has, and the vet tragically reveals he only has 3 moon raises. Heartbroken, Kara drops to her knees beside Crypto, weeping and begging her dog not to freaking give up on her. She whispers emotional words to her dying companion, assuring him that home is wherever he is. Ruthie walks up to the crying Kryptonian and asks if she's finally going after Krem for the antidote. Ruthie proposes a joint mission, Kara fights for the antidote, and Ruthie fights to execute Krem. Kara tells Ruthie that she's genuinely sorry about what happened to her family, but her goal is strictly medical. Kara sternly warns the teen that her bloodthirsty revenge is not going to get in the way of saving her dog. She stresses that nothing will stand in the way of her saving Crypto's life. Kara commands Ruthie to stay behind on the Red Sun planet and carefully look after him while she hunts Krem down. Kara checks her timer, knowing she has exactly 72 hours, buddy, to track Krem across the galaxy and secure the cure. Kara buys a ticket for a sketchy public space bus, where a weird alien basically welcomes her on board. Kara takes a seat, annoyed by a gross alien smoking a hookah nearby, wishing he'd give us all a break. Suddenly, Ruthie stows away and plops right into the seat next to Kara, leaving Kara asking if she's comfy and has any clue what she's doing. As Ruthie settles in, she accidentally bumps her heavy luggage into a terrifying alien while trying to get through to her seat. Kara facepalms in pure panic, quietly groaning "Oh freakin' Ruthie," as the giant alien turns around furiously. Kara whispers that placing luggage at that species' feet is the ultimate deadly insult, basically calling her mother a whore. Kara is out here trying to negotiate with these alien pirates while low-key dying from red sun radiation. She can barely even stand up straight because without yellow sunlight her powers are completely cooked. She asks how close they are to a yellow sun because she desperately needs a cosmic power refill right now. Ruthie flies their ship straight towards the nearest yellow star like an absolute wild madwoman. The ship is totally malfunctioning and falling apart, but Kara's main character energy comes roaring right back. Once the yellow solar rays hit her skin, Kara absorbs that insane cosmic radiation instantly. She reveals the hilarious reason she was under a red sun: she just wanted to get drunk for once. Ruthie finally convinces Kara to join her epic revenge quest across the galaxy to hunt down Krem. But Kara makes it super clear she's only doing this to get the antidote and save her beloved dog Crypto. She gives Ruthie one crucial rule for surviving this lethal mission: keep your mouth shut and stay alive. Ruthie is super hyped up, thinking they are an unstoppable duo after surviving that near-death wreck. Now they need actual intel on where Krem's dirty gang, the Brigands, are hiding out. Kara turns around to interrogate those Sklarian pirates they tied up on the back of the ship. Kara threatens them with total physical destruction if they don't start dropping location coordinates right now. The captured pirates warn them that Krem is a vicious monster with insane superhuman power. They claim Krem took off to Bilquis, a horrifyingly toxic wasteland on the dangerous edge of space. Years of brutal atomic wars left Bilquis totally ruined and full of the absolute worst scum in the galaxy. The Brigands are kidnapping innocent girls off planets to keep their twisted syndicate going. Knowing how dark this situation is, Kara decides they have zero choice but to drop straight into Bilquis. Before hitting that toxic environment, Kara gets Ruthie fitted with proper high-tech space gear. Ruthie gets low-key terrified by the suit-up process, completely losing her cool for a sec. Ruthie asks if Kara's home planet Earth is packed with overpowered heroes like her. Kara reveals there's only one other superpowered person like her on Earth, and his name is Superman. Ruthie notices Kara looks way younger and wonders how Superman is supposed to be the older one. They land on the grim planet Bilquis and immediately march into a shady alien dive bar. The local alien bar is packed to the brim with violent cutthroats, scum, and ruthless bounty hunters. Weirdly enough, calm elevator music is playing over the jukebox while criminals glare at them. A greasy alien creep immediately eyes Ruthie and threatens to take her by force. Kara steps in calm as ever, offering a deal in exchange for info on Krem's crew. She challenges this giant muscular brute to a high-stakes arm wrestling match. If the brute wins, he gets both girls, but if Kara wins, he drops the intel. The thug laughs in her face thinking this tiny girl is about to get smashed into pieces. Kara looks around the bar and casually warns everyone that things are about to get real bloody. Ruthie tries to back up in panic, but Kara tells her to just sit back and watch the show. Kara brutally snaps the giant thug's arm like a twig without even breaking a sweat. She apologizes for the violence, explaining she's severely stressed because her dog is literally dying. A friendly local alien named Bomer speaks up, realizing these girls mean serious business. Kara asks him directly if he has any solid leads on Krem or his brigand gang. Suddenly, the whole room goes dead silent as a massive, terrifying mercenary walks inside. Kara whispers to Ruthie that this guy is Lobo, a psychotic immortal planetary killer. Lobo slams down at the counter, aggressively searching for a brigand target himself. He describes his bounty with zero patience, looking ready to slaughter anyone who lies to him. Lobo gets right in a local alien's face, smelling blood and looking for an excuse to tear the bar apart. Instead of keeping quiet, Ruthie stupidly blurts out her entire revenge plot right to Lobo. Kara quickly jumps in front, cooking up a fake story about being clueless tourists on a birthday trip. She plays the dumb airhead teenager persona perfectly to keep Lobo from realizing who she really is. Lobo gets so annoyed by Kara's fake bubbly banter that he tells them to get lost. He calls everyone in the bar useless and ignores them, narrowly missing Kara's secret identity. Bomer secretly tells them he actually knows a guy who can lead them straight to Krem. He warns that walking the streets at night on Bilquis is downright lethal for a young girl. He promises to go fetch his informant while they wait safely at his hidden hideout. They reach a safe house where Kara and Ruthie can finally take a much-needed breath. While waiting, Ruthie asks Kara why her famous cousin Superman is so different from her. Kara asks if Ruthie thinks she's rude, and Ruthie basically says yeah, low-key totally. Kara laughs it off, calling Clark a massive total nerd compared to her tough exterior. She explains that Clark always looks for the light in people, while she sees cold hard reality. Ruthie is confused because Clark is physically older, yet acts so innocent and hopeful. Kara breaks down that Clark's youth isn't about numbers, but the purity of his heart. Clark was sent to Earth as a tiny baby, while Kara had to watch her entire home world burn. She explains why Clark's spirit remains unbroken while hers carries immense darkness and trauma. Kara reminds Ruthie that she wasn't raised on Earth, she remembers Krypton vividly. Ruthie mentions how the galaxy believes Krypton vanished in a single catastrophic instant. Kara corrects her, revealing the haunting truth that Krypton's collapse was a slow nightmare. She explains that the universe didn't grant Krypton a quick ending, it suffered agonizingly. Her father Zor-El and Uncle Jor-El pleaded with Krypton's government, but everyone ignored them. We flash back to Kara's childhood on Krypton as apocalyptic alarms sound across the city. Zor-El activates emergency shields as giant quakes tear through the futuristic skyline. Kara's mother points out baby Kal-El, who is being loaded into a tiny escape pod. Kryptonians wrongly feared Kal-El would grow up on Earth as a terrifying alien overlord. Kara's parents argue fiercely over whether to launch Kara into deep space to save her. They hesitate because they don't want Kara to live isolated as a god among mortals. They foolishly believed Argo City might survive the planetary destruction. Zor-El calls out frantically for young Kara as massive explosions tear their world apart. Kara remembers how Argo City somehow survived floating in space for years on a shield. But living on a floating piece of dead rock conditioned Kara into the hardened warrior she is today. Kara drops a massive bomb about her tragic backstory, explaining how her hometown broke off and unearthed deadly green kryptonite. The crystalline radiation literally poisoned the entire planetary ground, causing everyone in Argo City to fall fatally sick. Her father tried throwing up a massive force field over the settlement, but even peak Kryptonian tech couldn't block the radiation. Realizing his own life was totally cooked, her dad whipped up a tiny pod meant for just one single survivor. He modified his brother's ancient blueprints so Kara could rocket away and catch up with her baby cousin, Kal-El. But teenage Kara wasn't having it, crying out that she would rather die right beside her family than abandon them. She felt like her single life was completely meaningless if everyone she loved was about to be wiped out. Her parents hit her with an emotional reality check, explaining that she carries the entire future legacy of their people on her shoulders. They force her into the small pod because her survival is literally the only way Argo City's spirit stays alive. Her mother gives her one final iconic piece of advice: no matter how dark things get, always stay good. She reminds Kara that being good doesn't mean being soft or letting cosmic villains push her around. Her life was guaranteed to be filled with insane struggle, but also immense purpose under the yellow sun. Her primary objective on Earth would be standing up as a shield for those who are too weak to fight back. With those heavy parting words, Kara was launched into the dark abyss of space while her world crumbled to ash. Cut back to the present moment, and Kara admits to Ruthie that she completely understands the sickening urge for violent revenge. She warns the kid that letting pure rage guide her actions will corrupt her soul beyond repair. When Ruthie asks when the burning anger actually stops, Kara basically confesses that the pain never truly fades. Kara steps away to check up on their host Marek, leaving Ruthie resting back on the bench. Marek hands Kara a steaming bowl, claiming it's an ancient traditional recipe passed down through his family. Kara takes a sip and notices a super sketchy bitter taste, but downs it like an absolute champ anyway. She asks why everyone on this backwater dust planet seems to have sketchy ties with Krem's ruthless crew. Marek drops a heartbreaking truth, revealing the brigands constantly raid their small village and steal away young girls. Kara notices family photos on the wall and instantly gets a gut feeling that something is insanely off. Panic kicks in as Kara realizes her drink was completely spiked with a neuroparalyzing compound. The desperate father breaks down and confesses he set up Kara just to buy back his kidnapped daughter Sarna. Kara tries processing the massive betrayal while her superpowered nervous system starts glitching out fast. Marek is totally stunned that Kara is still standing up after chugging a dose meant to instantly drop a monster. Kara grabs a jug of thick alien milk, knowing the heavy liquid will coat her stomach and slow down the lethal toxin. She downs the disgusting Chuchan milk like an absolute boss, trying to force her body to purge the poison. Kara presses him against the wall, demanding to know the exact terms of the terrible deal he struck with Krem. Marek traded off the two off-world strangers just to secure the release of his innocent little girl. Right on cue, the infamous bounty target Drum Baxton casually struts through the door with his crew. Kara barely has a second to recover from the poison before the villainous mercenary confronts her head-on. Even though her vision is completely spinning, Kara asks for a brief moment to catch her breath before throwing hands. Baxton taunts her relentlessly, waving Crypto's life-saving antitoxin vial right in her face like a toxic menace. Ruthie watches Kara stumble around blindly, thinking the mighty alien hero is straight up intoxicated. Baxton realizes Kara isn't collapsing like a normal target, ordering his goons to drop her immediately. Absolute chaos erupts inside the shelter as the space bandits try to secure their captives in the scuffle. Ruthie points out that Kara literally smells like puke, but Kara brushes off the insult mid-combat. Baxton tries to flex on the villagers, showing zero respect for anyone standing in his way. The cold-blooded merc breaks his promise and decides to execute Marek's daughter right in front of him. Baxton recognizes Kara from their earlier encounter at the bar and hurls insulting trash talk her way. Threatening an innocent kid unlocks Kara's ultimate rage mode, pushing her right past the poison's deadly agony. Kara lunges forward and delivers a brutal bone-crushing blow, knocking the massive mercenary flat on his back. She frantically scans the wreckage, trying to find Krem before her poisoned dog runs out of precious time. Krem slips into the shadows like a total coward, playing mind games while Kara's senses are totally blurred. Even while completely intoxicated by foreign poison, Kara tracks Krem's scent through the thick dust of the room. Out of nowhere, Krem fires off lethal rounds and drops several villagers cold, traumatizing young Ruthie. Ruthie screams at Kara in total anguish, blaming her non-lethal morals for letting Krem slaughter more people. Kara physically restrains the vengeful kid, firmly refusing to let her cross the line into becoming a murderer. Ruthie rages about how unfair the universe is, asking why evil monsters get to live while innocents bleed out. Kara drops severe truth on her, explaining that taking a life will scar her soul and haunt her until she dies. Ruthie snaps back with brutal honesty, calling out Kara for coping with her pain by getting drunk every night. The kid looks her dead in the eye and admits she refuses to turn into a miserable, hollow alcoholic like Kara. Realizing arguing is pointless, Kara sarcastically tells her to go chase Krem through the dimensional rift alone. Instead of backing down, Kara corners a shady, tentacled alien informant to force out Krem's next location. With under 24 hours left to save Crypto, Kara completely loses her chill with the uncooperative alien. She threatens to turn the squid-like snitch into a hand puppet if he doesn't cough up Krem's exact destination. Terrified for his life, the alien hands over a specialized dimensional tracking suit required to survive the rift. They gear up and march toward the shimmering cosmic boundary where the brigands escaped. We hit a dramatic flashback to the exact day Kara first crash-landed on planet Earth as a confused teenager. A young Clark Kent approaches her smoking pod, attempting to connect with his long-lost Kryptonian family. Clark stumbles over his words awkwardly because he was raised in Kansas and never actually learned Kryptonian. He desperately tries explaining his backstory while Kara stands there totally bewildered by his English speech. An adorable young Crypto hops around Clark's boots, showing off his energetic pup personality. Clark welcomes her to the fortress, promising her that Earth is full of incredible experiences like cosmic bowling. He casually gives her a heads up that Earth's yellow sun radiation is about to trigger her godlike super abilities. Snap back to the present, and Kara suddenly wakes up trapped inside a dark, disorienting alien chamber. Ruthie pops up beside her, revealing she secretly stowed away in the cargo bay when Kara stormed the ship. Kara realizes with horror that Krem tricked them into entering a planetary system trapped between twin suns. The massive green sun overhead unleashes deadly radiation, completely stripping Kara of all her superhuman strength. Ruthie pulls out Kara's iconic suit from the ship, but Kara dismisses it as totally useless in this power-draining trap. Kara breaks down into heavy tears, devastated that she won't be there to comfort Crypto as his clock runs out. Ruthie drops her tough, cold exterior and sits down beside the weeping hero to offer genuine comfort. The young girl takes back her harsh insults, admitting that despite Kara's flaws, she possesses a truly kind soul. Ruthie realizes the cell bars are poison-tipped, meaning one wrong move and it is completely over for her. She asks the mercenary why she should trust him, but he brutally reminds her that nobody in this dungeon is safe. The alien hunter boasts that real hunters never get caught, they just set traps and wait for their prey. Ruthie makes it clear that she is not after money, she is running purely on cold, hard revenge. She reveals how Krem brutally murdered her innocent family in cold blood for absolutely no reason. Krem took everything from her just for sport, showing he has zero honor or soul. The bounty hunter claims his code is iron and he only kills for cash, not for sick fun. He insists that once he makes a deal, he never goes back on his word. He chuckles that taking down a dead Kryptonian would make for the ultimate interstellar trophy. Meanwhile, the guards mock Kara, warning Ruthie that her alien friend is in deep trouble. Under a green sun, Kara's Kryptonian powers are completely stripped away, leaving her totally helpless. Kara uses her last bit of energy to roast her captor, calling him a fragile excuse for a man. She tells the main villain he is more revolting than literal trash on the bottom of her shoe. The guard ignores her insults and tries to propose a deal to give up Kara's location. When Kara refuses to break, the villain declares that she will not survive until the end of the day. Suddenly, Ruthie flips the script and starts crying, screaming that she does not want to die. She pretends to break down completely, begging the guard to just take her straight to Krem. She promises to tell Krem exactly where to find Kara if they just spare her life. The main villain tells his goon to get off his fat ass and bring the loud kid to Krem. The goon agrees to drag her away, totally falling for her helpless act. Ruthie keeps up the fake crying, begging them to bring her to the boss. She swears she will do whatever Krem says, playing the ultimate helpless victim. The guard snaps at her to keep her trapped shut while leading her out of the holding cell. As soon as the cell opens, Ruthie drops the act and turns out to be a total savage. The mercenary is low-key impressed that this small kid had such crazy main character energy. Ruthie flexes that her insane trick worked perfectly to get them unlocked. Kara remembers her mission and reminds Ruthie about the true burden of power. She urges the kid to always use her strength to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Kara finally confronts the villain face to face, introducing herself as the girl whose dog he shot. The villain just laughs and reveals a special surprise cooked up specifically for her. He pulls out a pure glowing crystal, calling it Kryptonite Delight. He gets toxic, mocking how beautiful Kara's eyes look while she suffers in absolute agony. The villain raises his weapon, promising to put an end to her suffering right now. Out of nowhere, chaos breaks loose as the mercenary drops in, joking that travel-sized targets are easier. The alien brawler celebrates a brutal takedown while the room explodes into full action. He insists the kid wants revenge, so they should just let her slaughter Krem right here. Kara tries to stop them, warning that blind vengeance is not that simple. The mercenary dismisses Kara with a sarcastic comment and charges straight into the brawl. Kara pushes through the extreme pain of kryptonite poisoning, asking if the captives are all right. Meanwhile, Krem faces Ruthie, mocking the beautiful sword she carries from her late father. He dares the young girl to step up and plunge the blade straight into his heart. Ruthie raises the heavy sword, swearing this blade will end all the suffering he caused. Kara rushes in to stop her, but Ruthie yells that nobody is going to stop her now. Kara softly tells her that killing Krem will not actually take her pain away. She warns Ruthie that carrying murder in her heart means taking him with her for the rest of her life. Ruthie cries out that she is already ruined, so it does not even matter anymore. Kara reminds her that her heart is still good and open, despite everything she went through. She urges Ruthie to show the villain who she truly is, instead of becoming a monster like him. Kara reassures her that her family's spirit is still with her right now. She speaks truth into her soul, saying that living a legendary life will be her ultimate revenge. Ruthie breaks down into tears, wishing this tragedy had never happened to her family. Kara holds her close, admitting she wishes everything could go back to how it was before. Ruthie lowers her sword and tells Krem to walk away before she changes her mind. Krem mocks Kara, telling her she thinks she saved the kid's soul, but Kara knocks him flat. Kara swings a massive left hook right into his jaw, yelling that it was for her dog. She follows up with a heavy blow, punishing Krem for everything he did to that little girl. After the dust settles, a familiar bark echoes as Krypto comes sprinting back. Kara drops to her knees, super excited to see her loyal companion alive and well. Krypto smothers her in happy dog licks while Kara jokes that he is going to give her pink eye. With the main villain brought to justice, Ruthie reveals she is going to live with her aunt. She shares her dream of making swords just like her father used to do. Kara chuckles and admits her reckless galactic pub crawl days are officially behind her. Ruthie looks at Supergirl with deep respect, expressing how glad she is that their paths crossed. The two bond one last time before realizing it is finally time to say goodbye. Kara realizes she never actually got to finish celebrating her birthday. Later back on Earth, Clark Kent chats with Kara, noting birthdays have always been tricky. Kara smiles, reflecting that despite the chaos, her birthday trip was special in its own way. She decides she is not running away anymore and plans to stay on Earth a while. Kara relaxes on the couch, saying she and Krypto are just genuinely happy to be home. Clark suddenly panics as Krypto sneaks into the kitchen and starts eating chocolate. And that wraps up the mind-blowing ending of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. If you were glued to your screen during that epic final showdown, smash that like button right now. Make sure to hit subscribe and ring the notification bell so you never miss a wild movie breakdown. Drop a comment down below telling me your favorite part of Kara's journey. Thanks for watching, squad, and I will catch you in the next breakdown.